Good morning. And indeed, as the name says, what a time to have a good morning walk. So, obviously, we're going to be definitely talking about, nearly. We're going to be talking about the by-elections, but we'll wait. We'll hang on a moment for people to assemble and get in. But oh my, oh my, oh me, oh my. I would not want to be Boris Johnson this morning. Little calf here. Oh, well, I don't know. Might not be a little calf. Yeah, Phil, good morning to you. It's a beautiful day. It is a beautiful day indeed. I thought, why not get out sort of, nice and early, while at least the heat is still cool. So, we can have like a proper, morning walk. Because I've been out walking all this week, and every single time when I've come back, I'm like, oh, it's a bit warm. It's a bit warm. But yes, what a morning. Oh, train going speeding past. But what a morning. And I would not want to be Boris Johnson today. Oh, Chris, good morning from South Germany. Good morning to you. Like I say, all pile in to hear the news. Like I say, spread it far and wide. Hit the share button, hit the like button, and get more people in. Share it in Discord, share it on Twitter, share it on Facebook. Because, oh my word, have we got some good news, obviously, this morning. As you know, yesterday, 3 significant things happened yesterday. First of all, it is very well worth reminding people that we are coming up to the 6-year anniversary of Brexit. Yes, 6 years, can you believe it? I can't. But we're still in, bizarre and wonderful times indeed. Bizarre and wonderful times indeed. Still very, very much caused by Brexit and the fact that even the Conservative MPs don't even know what to do. To the fact that you've got David Davis going around going, this is a Remainers Brexit. Oh, Eric, good morning from West Germany. So we've got East and West Germany. No fighting in the chat now. But yeah, what a morning. What a morning indeed. And you can tell by my mood, it's a happy morning indeed. So, obviously we've got the anniversary of Brexit. Brexiteers are still not happy with Boris Johnson, still blaming him for, quote, not delivering Brexit properly. And now you've got Boris Johnson in a heck of a situation. Because Boris Johnson is being pulled in so many different ways by so many different groups within the Conservative Party. We've talked before about the fact that the ERG used to be the party within the party, but there are now multiple parties within the party pulling Boris Johnson and indeed the government's attention in different directions. You wouldn't want to be bozo in any of the mornings. Very true. So you've got all these different factions now pulling in different directions. If it was a Remainer Brexit, I would still be in the UK and not have left 4 years ago. Elated by the news, I must admit. Let's hope it's the beginning of a larger movement. Well, maybe. Because you've obviously got all these different parties pulling in different directions, wanting different things, vastly different things, and ideologically very different things, and believing different things as well. So this is not a good party to rule. And remember, Theresa May had trouble with just one group of Conservative MPs, namely the ERG. Boris, I think at last count, there's about 6 or 7 different groups like the ERG that now exist within the Tory party. And almost certainly today, well, Boris Johnson's, he's not in the country today. He's actually down in Rwanda having a Commonwealth meeting. And I'm sure that's going to go down well over there. But we'll talk about Rwanda, I think, at another time. Because obviously yesterday, there were the 2 by-elections. And I am very, very proud to deliver to you the news. Boris Johnson and the Conservatives have lost them both. Yes, not only did they lose Wakefield in a spectacular fashion with a very strong majority for the Labour candidate, which is a very good sign for the other, shall we say, Labour retaking the rest of those red wall seats. So all that new intake of 2019 red wall MPs this morning are certainly going to be even more nervous than they were before. But the bigger news, of course, and don't get me wrong, the win in Wakefield is important. Both these by-elections were important because they would disprove a lot of the facts that the Boris Johnson supporters like to put out about Boris, that he's a winner, that he can attract these different groups and, bring this coalition of, people together, However, the Lib Dems down in Tiverton, not only did they win that by-election, but they overturned a massive majority. In fact, it's the single biggest overturn in British political history. And, yes, it is a by-election. Yes, I have no doubt when we come to see the final polls, I highly suspect a lot of people won't have turned out, that it might not be as a big a turnout as it would maybe a general election would produce. But like I say, we'll definitely have a talk about that when we get those final numbers in. But the fact that they've done this and managed to achieve this is going to send huge shockwaves through the Tory party this morning. And Oliver Dowden, the head, shall we say, of the current Conservative Party, has indeed this morning resigned. Just a few hours, just literally, I think might have been less than an hour ago. Maybe might have been a bit more than that. So the interesting thing to watch for today will be more resignations. Might we see more of those, shall we say, those red wall MPs who, maybe to save their skin, might cross over maybe to the Labour benches like we saw last year? It's possible. We might even see defections from the Conservatives over to the Lib Dems. Oh, has news. Good morning to you. So ultimately, both these by-elections are going to send shockwaves through the Conservative Party, because you had people, especially those red wall Tories, who were desperate, absolutely desperate to re-win their seat again and not be a one-term MP. But now, not only are they even more worried about the general election, 2 years away, we suspect at least 2 years away. There's been a lot of mooting about October the 27th as a potential general election victory, not victory, potential general election date being put forward. That is possible. Would there be a repeat of history like Churchill, who went to Potsdam as Prime Minister and was replaced by while away? Let's hope it was a repeat in Rwanda. Maybe. Maybe. You don't know what could happen. Keep watch. Definitely keep watch today if the 1922 committee meet. If the 1922 committee meet, they may very well change the rules so that they can have another vote of no confidence in Boris Johnson. Watch out for that. Will it happen today? Who knows? But that's a real possibility. They could certainly meet this week. Oh, Patrick H., good morning to you. Nathonic, good morning to you as well. Like I say, come and bask in the news. Like I say, share it far and wide, shout it from the mountaintops. You know, hit the like button, hit the share button, share it on Twitter, share it on Discord, share it on Facebook. Oh, Mitch, good morning to you. Like I say, for those who maybe have joined us late and haven't heard the news yet, or maybe you're just waking up and hearing the news yourself, the Tories and Boris Johnson have lost both by-elections, both in Wakefield and down in Tiverton and Houghton, down in Devon, with obviously Labour winning Wakefield and the Lib Dems winning Tiverton and Houghton. So absolutely fantastic news. Labour, from what we can see of at least the early results, like I say, they are still counting the results, but both results were very confidently, should we say, be able to put forward that yes, these wins are definite and that they have definitely won. Labour has won very convincingly with a very nice majority, which is, again, will send ripples down the spines of the red wall Conservatives down there, worried about, shall we say, trying to maintain their red wall seat. And of course, down in Tiverton, Conservatives who were in maybe a safe seat in the what we call the core rural heartland of Tory Britain will also be very, very worried by the fact that they've just lost what should be another safe seat for the Conservatives. So this isn't going to be good. This is not going to be good for Johnson. Mitch, how can Johnson stay in power? Does he just have that many people fooled? Not really. Like I say, I think that very much the illusion of Boris Johnson being an election winner has been gone now completely there, Mitch. I think these two by-elections have just shown that myth has been completely wiped away. How can he stay in power? Well, there's yet again going to be a lot of Conservatives calling for him to go. And I think there's going to be a lot of Conservatives wishing that they had maybe held off on their vote of no confidence. But the things to watch today, So watch out for these today, because we've already had one resignation with Oliver Dowden resigning from his position. And I think that was about an hour, maybe 2 hours ago. So watch out for more resignations today of people resigning from their positions in the Conservative Party. The other thing, of course, to watch is the 1922 committee. What's this, Patrick? Rabs refused to go to the BBC. Not surprising. Oh God! Do you know who's going to get that interview slot now? Nadine Dorries. Nadine Dorries absolutely is going to try and probably get in that slot there, and probably create another terrible, awful car crash interview. But oh my, oh me, oh my. So watch for more resignations today. Especially watch the 1922 committee. They may meet today to change the rules on, shall we say, how often you can have a vote of no confidence. That is possible. It might not happen today. It might happen next week. So keep an eye on that, because that will certainly be very interesting if they go in and decide, right, we're changing the rules. We've got to get rid of this guy now. Because I'm not going to lie, there's a lot of so there's two key lines of attacks. One we're already seeing forming this morning, and the other may be becoming later on down the pipe. But the first one that we've already, at least I've already heard this morning, from, shall we say, the Conservative news pieces, or like the press, or ministers coming out and talking about this. They're basically just saying, oh, this is just a by-election. It doesn't really matter. And that's how they're trying to, brush it off. This is just a by-election. Doesn't really matter. Except it does matter, By-elections are very often the weather stick of how the next general election is going to go, how it is going to look like. And the fact that we've often talked about the Tory nightmare of both the red wall and the blue wall collapsing. Well, that just happened last night in those two by-elections. That was the Conservative nightmare in action. And those were only 2 seats. And remember, the next general election, to at least maintain a good majority, or not even a good majority, or at least to maintain his majority now, Boris Johnson has to re-win all the seats he won in 2019. That includes the red wall. And if he loses those red wall seats, I think it is already been said, he cannot form a government. He has to go into a coalition with someone at that point. And at that point, who do you go into coalition with? The Conservatives have burned a lot of bridges with those things recently. The Lib Dems aren't really going to go into coalition without a lot of concessions, and the DUP almost certainly aren't going to go into a coalition with them unless they say the first thing you do is you get rid completely of the Northern Ireland Protocol. The SNP aren't really going to go into a coalition with them, even if Boris offered them, their much wanted, referendum. And Labour certainly isn't going to go into a coalition with them either. So this is really, really interesting to see how this goes today. But that argument I've just gone through there just shows you why those two by-elections are really important, and they can't just be sort of brushed off, because you've seen the Conservative nightmare in action, which if it happened, I think would leave the Conservatives with something like 73 MPs. Which, don't get me wrong, is still a fair amount, but that means they're far from an electoral force. Oh, hang on. Chthonic, Wakefield. Turnout was 39%. That's pretty good. A 39% turnout for a by-election. That's not bad. What did we get? 39% turnout with over 27,000 ballots cast out of an electorate of over 69,000. So that's not bad. That's not bad numbers. I'd be interested to see what happens there. Yeah, it's not a swing. It's not a swing to Labour as much as disaffected Tories staying home. Tiverton is a landslide. Very true. Oh yeah, Mitch. Yeah, Mitch. The red wall, what we call them. Very much areas of the north. Very much the old traditional industrial heartlands of the UK. So you've got places like Leeds, Bradford, Sheffield, Manchester, up and around there. So Yorkshire, Lancashire, Northumberland, Cumbria, very much anything up from the Midlands gets classed as sort of red wall territory. Yeah, 39% is comical. 52% turnout in Tiverton. Ooh, if that is that true, oh my word, that's a good turnout. 52% of the electorate turned out in Tiverton. Oh my word, that is a good turnout. That is a very good turnout. And don't get me wrong, 39% in obviously in Wakefield. Oh. I was going to show you the ponies, but they're being rather inappropriate at the moment. Chthonic Mid Devon District Council said a total of 42,000 votes were cast, and the turnout was around 52% out of an electorate of 81,000. So that's pretty good. That is a pretty good turnout down in Devon. That's very good. That's a very good turnout. The big question is obviously, and I think we'll be talking about this for some time to come, what caused that turnout? What's happened there? And I think in the coming weeks we'll find out. Just as in down south in Cheshire and Amersham, we saw the fact that farmers and the farming community, the rural communities, had turned heavily against the Conservatives, especially with the policies that they were pushing. So that certainly could be an interesting thing when, shall we say, we get to the analysis of what happened down south, especially down in Tiverton. Pony turnout is 88%. Yep, we've absolutely got a turnout of ponies today. We've got crowds. So we're going to try and get through these guys here. Right, let's see if we can get through. Come on, boys. Morning, morning, morning. Can you let me through? Morning, boys. Morning, morning, morning. Morning. Don't mind me. Just little old me. Swinging on through. Yes, we are through. Behold, oh my word. Oh. Yes. Not only have we got ponies on this side of the river, we got ponies on this side as well. Very, very much so. And I don't know if you can see down there, a little foal down there, very tiny. But yes. Right, let's continue on. Let's try and get through these guys, shall we? Oh, it's the Pony Express. So, I think that the question is a lot of people are going to asking today is what's next? Oh. Letting the home security out to spread doom and gloom today. Mark our happy days indeed. Nope. Having fun and games on the other side? Nay, indeed. Let's see if we can just whiz through under here. Little guy just waking up. Morning. There we go. So yeah, what next? It's often one of those things everyone wants to know. You know, Hunton, not Houghton. Sorry, it's different. It's you know, Huntington. That's it. Yeah. It's difficult because there's a place not too far away called Great Oughton, so I always get it confused. It's my inner Yorkshireness getting through. But yeah, that's the question: is what next? We've already had one resignation today with Oliver Dowden, and as I keep on, I've said before, watch for more resignations today. I think that's very highly likely today. I cannot see the fact that there is not at least more than one resignation today. I would not be surprised. Yeah, it's a strong and stable government. Yeah, you are right. It used to be a place with a donkey with a blue rose place. Potentially not anymore. Like I say, bear in mind, I can't remember, we went over it this week about the fact that when you look at how safe that seat was meant to be down in Devon, it was like the 246th most safe Conservative seat, and you're like, if they can overturn that, what others can they overturn as well? And like I say, makes the next general election even more interesting. If the Lib Dems can do that and they can concentrate on that area, what do you do? FSM, the only thing keeping Johnson safe is a lack of an alternative. The sad thing is, has it been brought up before? It's not that they are short of an alternative, it's that they are more spoilt for choice. This idea that we often hear from the Conservatives is that, there's no one better for Boris Johnson. Well, first of all, if there's no one better than Boris Johnson, that puts the party in a very, very bad light if that's the best way they can offer. But just off the top of our heads, where you say, oh yeah, we've got just how spoilt for choice they are. They've got Liz Truss, they've got Rishi Sunak, they've got Dominic Raab. There's if you really want to go out and out there. There's Penny Mordaunt. There's the Defense Secretary. Yeah, they really are spoilt for choice. Yeah, Grovey, you know. And it's not that they are spoilt for choice. I think a lot of Conservatives realise, as I've been, saying for the past couple of weeks, there's going to be interesting consequences come a Tory leadership contest, because it is going to be brutal, it is going to be bloody, it is going to be a bare knuckle boxing match, and no one, even the winner, is going to come out unscathed. And even then, because we've said, at the beginning, we said, the Conservative Party has now parties within the party. Those factions are now wanting to go and be making their noise, their voices heard, and getting what they want. I think you're going to certainly see. I think you're certainly going to see the Northern Research Group be very active. I think in the coming days, really pushing on certainly Michael Gove and Boris Johnson to deliver on their promises of levelling up, because one of the things that even before this by-election we were seeing was that the people of Wakefield were saying, hey, look, you promised you were going to level up. Where's all this money? Where's all this stuff you promised us? You haven't delivered. Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Yeah, the Tory donors want Johnson because he will hopefully kill the unions. Very true. One thing we've actually been hearing recently, but we'll have to see how long. We'll have to see how long these strikes particularly last. But also the fact that you've had, what's his name now? Leader of the RMT, Martin, is it Matthew something? Has been doing an absolutely fantastic job putting forward the case for the RMT, and other people as well. There was someone on LBC that phoned in, I think, to Sheila Fogarty, and explained, just how much, this pay rise actually means. It means a cleaner who's earning something like 20,000 a year, if they get this pay rise, gets something like 21,000 a year. So they're not asking much. And yet you've got Boris Johnson uncapping executive pay rises, and of course they get a massive pay rise. You've got all the dividends that the railways have been paying to their shareholders, massive amounts, and yet nothing has gone to the workers. And this is really a time where, well, we said, it must have been a couple of months ago now, where we said, look, the unions are going to come back with a force on Boris Johnson, not only over the cost of living crisis, but the inflation crisis, but over many, many things. So they really, really wanted to get rid of many of workers' rights, or many of the regulations that we saw. So this is where we have come to a point of unions are in a stronger position, I think, than they've ever been in before. They used to very much focus and concentrate on Brussels, because, as they said, we quoted at the time, that was where all the action was. That's not the case anymore. But they've had years and years of experience lobbying in Brussels. All that knowledge is now coming back to the UK to do all the stuff they've done. I think a lot of the stuff that the RMT is really bringing up and should constantly be brought up is really good. So one of the things I saw brought up was the fact that they want to increase the hours, but not the pay. These people, the people on the railways earn. So that's going to be, something that we see a big, tackling. Of course, this is also linked to job cuts as well that the railways want to do, that they are desperately trying to do, because apparently this will save the railways. Like I say, massive supporter of these strikes. I have huge sympathy for anyone who obviously, can't travel on the railways. But I'll tell you what, these workers deserve every single support that they need. Like I say, if you happen to be passing a RMT picket line today, or anything like that, say, good on them, give them the, show them a thumbs up, sign of support, anything, even if, toot of the horn. So yeah, expect more strikes, because I think certainly we're hearing rumours that the teachers may go on strike because of over their pay and their conditions that they want improving. We're hearing that council workers could also be looking at going on strike. And as I said, just this week, we could be seeing a summer of strikes and strike action and union activity that we have not seen in decades in this country. So while I am really active, and I really do hope, these unions do really start to get organised. And I think, you see the RMT union go forward. Not only that, but airport workers, BA workers, potentially going on strike as well in the next couple of weeks and months. And one of their union leaders was on, I think it was LBC, might have been something else, came out and said, I think the talking about potentially going on strike, and then the presenter goes, why are you doing this now at a height when all these people are going to be going on holidays? Well, and they put it best. They went, well, look, we've been asking, quote, nicely for over a year now to improve these conditions, to make sure that we get a pay rise, but BA hasn't offered it. So at the point, this is where you have to go and go out there and get striking. And I really, really think we are going to see so many strikes, and I think it would benefit Labour, because we've talked before about Ed Miliband going to be increasing power for the unions, which will be a good thing, bringing back a lot of stuff that the unions want, sort of like full union access. So basically in an Amazon factory, if there's sort of union complaints about working conditions or unsafe areas or stuff like that, but if it's beyond a certain point, then the union can't go in and have a look at it. But if you bring in more, if you bring in more of these, rules for them to have full access, that would be fantastic. I've talked often before about the ASOS warehouse, the fact that in Barnsley there is an ambulance outside on call there, 7 days a week, and the fact that there is a heart attack a week at that place. So bear in mind, I think we are going to see so much union action, I think, in the coming weeks and months. And I really do think, I came out yesterday and said, Keir Starmer's in a hard place. I really think at this moment he should just go, screw it, we're going all in, workers' rights. And he should be really putting forward that a Labour government is going to stand up for workers, stand up for the working class, and he's going to do so by doing X, Y, and Z. This is such a fantastic moment for Labour to really strike, because they can paint all these rail strikes as Tory rail strikes. You've seen that hashtag probably trending this week, and that's true. These are Tory rail strikes. It is entirely their fault. You know, there was meant to be like negotiations on Saturday, and the government will go, or at least the right-wing press and the government have said, oh, but we were going to have negotiations on Saturday, but the RMT didn't turn up. To which the RMT has turned around and gone, what do you mean? There were no talks on Saturday. You didn't turn up for them. So this is a fantastic moment for Labour to go in and strike on so much of, really put the boot in. And this is a moment, what we've talked about before, about what Ed Miliband has said, that, Labour needs to be not afraid to act, that it needs to start making the government dance to its beat of the drum, not dancing and playing Boris Johnson's game. Because Boris Johnson would love nothing more than to frame these as, of course, these are Labour strikes and they are, quote, Labour's fault, as we saw just a couple of days ago from that Daily Mail article. I don't know if you saw me post it in the YouTube thread about how the Daily Mail was blaming these strikes on the Labour government. And you're like, hold on for a second. Labour's not in power. What is going on here? So make no mistake, Starmer has a massive opportunity to really move forward. And I understand, someone, I just saw it there in chat, you've considered Starmer a Tory stooge. Starmer's not really so much a Tory stooge as people say he is. There's a lot of people, certainly on the left, who have gone really hard against Starmer, and that's fine. You can be disappointed in him, but there will come a point where you have to go, well, I'm going to have to vote Labour because it's going to be the only way we can beat the Tories. And if you want to improve the Labour Party, then guess what? Join the Labour Party, get involved in selection of MPs, get the people you want as MPs on the ballot, push for more progressive policies, push for PR. So much stuff these people could be doing, and they're not. They would rather just, be online moaners and not getting involved in any of this stuff. And some of them are, involved in it, but they would rather, shall we say, complain about the fact of Keir Starmer and not really look at the political reality. And don't get me wrong, I want Starmer to act now. I think I'm coming off the fence even more. Certainly if more strikes go ahead. We need, Starmer to start talking, or at least someone from the party to start talking about this. So, Pretty Bird, good morning to you. You've joined us. Like I say, welcome to everyone. Like I say, if you've missed the start, we are obviously waking up to the morning. And of course, the good news, Boris Johnson and the Conservatives have lost not only the Wakefield seat, the Red Wall seat, but also they've lost in a very dramatic fashion Tiverton and Houghton. So, needless to say, there are going to be a lot of unhappy Tories today. So let's wrap this let's start wrapping up then, shall we? But before we do that, please do remember to hit the like, share, and subscribe button if you are new. Honiton, yeah. Howiton. Honiton. Whatever. So please do remember to hit the like, share, and subscribe button. Like I say, down below, links to Patreon, one of today's called Buy Me a Coffee, etc., etc. You know the drill by now. You can join the Pony Club. Loki's children, good morning to you. So let's sum up. What happens next? Well, two things to keep an eye on today. Look out for resignations. We've already had one. Oliver Dowden has resigned today. So look out for more resignations happening today, potentially putting even more pressure on Boris Johnson. Watch for the 1922 committee meeting, probably to change the rules. So this is the Tory by-election. This is the turning point, I think. Watch, especially if Tories come out strongly and condemn Boris. Watch especially strongly if they come out and start condemning him for that. Like I say, the big one, 1922 committee meeting, more resignations. Watch out for people coming out and openly saying, look, it's time for Boris to go. Oh, good morning, Pony. Can I get past? I hate walking behind. I hate walking behind ponies like this. So yeah, watch out for those certainly things happening today. Maybe more have happened while we've been on the Good Morning Walk. I'm not 100% sure on that today. I'm just going to have to walk past. There we go. So yeah, watch out for those happening today. Those are going to be the next things. And then what happens next? Well, if the 1922 committee get their way and they change the rules, you're looking at a potential second vote of no confidence in Boris Johnson. Almost certainly today, you are going to see people like Robert Jerrick, head of the Northern Research Group, again, a party within the party, coming out and saying Boris Johnson needs to fulfill his commitments to levelling up, and maybe putting even more pressure from those groups onto Boris Johnson, onto Michael Gove, onto Rishi Sunak, to really fulfill, the 2019 promise of levelling up. You're going to see certainly more old traditional Tories certainly get really worried, of course, in that area in particular, and someone who could definitely lose their seat under these new conditions, Jacob Rees-Mogg, and I quite frankly would love it if at the next election Jacob Rees-Mogg lost his seat. That would be fantastic. But again, we'll have to wait and see what happens, of course, in the next general election. That, of course, is at the moment 2 years away. Maybe it might be less. We really don't know. This could be certainly, as people have said in the chat, certainly another turning point. Because can Boris Johnson turn this around? Absolutely not. Boris Johnson and his government have not put forward any serious policies to solve any of the problems we are facing. They are essentially reacting to problems as they come along and not even acting to them good. We've got a situation at the moment where in Wales we have potential mutations of COVID. Hospitals in Wales are at a breaking point. And because people can't isolate, well, people aren't legally forced to isolate anymore, but also there's no COVID payments if people have to isolate. So if you're poor and you get COVID and you work in a factory and you go to your boss, oh, I've got COVID, Your boss is just going to go, well, don't care, come into work. And of course, you end up spreading COVID, which gets to a bigger problem of we could have mutations, which basically means we could be back to square one if we get a really bad mutation of COVID. And make no mistake, my local hospital, Barnsley General, has COVID restrictions enforced still. So COVID ain't over. And if we get another mutation, we're back to square one. And then you would have an even bigger fight, because you've got Tories who do not want to go back to COVID lockdown rules, who do not want to reintroduce furlough, who do not want to reintroduce any of the sensible public health restrictions that we had to bring in during COVID. That's our situation. That's how bad it's going to go. So, as always, thank you very much for joining us on today's Good Morning Walk. Like I say, unfortunately, I've got JCI duties tomorrow morning. So, thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you all hopefully next Saturday. Watch out for more videos, etc., etc. You know the drill by now. Hit the like and share button on the way out. And of course, we'll see you all next time.